Heck yeah, back in the storms. What's going on, everybody? Good morning and good evening, depending on where you are. So, got this old girl here, the CRJ 900. Stretch her legs out, see what she'll do. Heading to Durango, Colorado. I've never, maybe I'm a little sheltered. I've never been there, but so got everything warmed up here. We're about to finish up this flight plan real quick. We'll be on our way. Let's see here. Make sure everything's good. The gremlins were out last night, so just double checking everything, make sure. My stream quality is not as horrid as it was yesterday. It was pretty bad. I don't know. There were some storms in the area, so I don't know if it was trying to downscale to accommodate that or what, but yeah, it was pretty bad. Let's throw something in there. I really have no idea how long this flight is. I just kind of threw it together. Distance 200. Wait a minute. No, it's all for that. Look on the release here. See how. $360. All around there. There we go. All right. I think we're like 1.7. All right, 1.7 right. Yep. Goodness gracious. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Oh, no, it's a little further than that. Okay. $585 of awesome. Let's see. And transition, HULZE. Execute. Back to flight plan. Direct to TXO. Not allowed. What do you mean not allowed? Let's try that again. TXO. There we go. Then direct ACH. And then according to them brief. Alright, plus 0.3. Okay, and cruising altitude is 136,000, which we'll probably go ahead and give it that. We take that, or oh, goodness gracious, okay. Alright, and copy data. And let's see, I think format, there's a plan mode, there we go. Increase the range a little bit. Ah, it's procedure turn, really don't need that. Cancel that. Cancel application. Well, we'll see how that goes. No idea. We'll see how that one goes. No idea how that's going to turn out. Door. Let's go ahead and get all that ready for boarding and all that fun stuff. Is it 8? Is that right? Yeah, it should be right. I'm still wondering how in the heck. So 620 miles total. I guess so. All right. Let's go ahead and get ready for boarding. And fire up the APU. I kind of question the spool up times for this one. I don't know, but it seems mighty quick. I mean, it's almost instant by the time you press the button there. Hang on. Hey Josh, how's it going, bud? There's a slight delay from when I see your message, so if you don't hear anything from me after a few minutes, what time is it? It is 8:45 Central Standard Time. Wait for these guys to finish up and we can get out of here. Now, hopefully my stream quality doesn't suffer like it did yesterday. It was bad last night. I don't know, because I think it was maybe the weather, but like it was horrible yesterday. It was, like it was almost to the point where I was just kind of like, you know what, we'll just call it for tonight. But we made it through, so appreciate those of you who hung in there and struggled through with me. Okay, let's see here. Looks like they're done. Yes, sir, they are done. Getting the doors closed up and hydraulic pumps on, fuel pumps on, generator switches to auto. Yep. Emergency lights armed. To the left, no. Alrighty, let's get this show on the road. Everything.
Hello, Captain.
I'm pretty good, sir. How about yourself? Probably feel a lot better here after I finish my coffee.
Locking gear.
Awesome. Yeah, a little sore and a little tired, but we'll make it.
Release parking brakes.
Alright, parking brakes released.
Release parking brakes.
Alright, so we're just not going to release the parking brakes. Awesome. You know what?
Release parking brakes.
You know what? I know what it is. Ground services. Yeah, those need to be off.
All engines clear. Start that wheel.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and fire up that number 2. It's pretty nice on CRJ. You just kind of press that guy there. Pats go off automatically, both left and right. And just wait for that 20% or so. 20-ish. 19 right there. 20. What is your name? Oh, Johnny, so Josh, cool, cool, cool. But yes, sir, my name is Johnny, so a very common, non-exciting first name. Alright, let's go ahead and fire up that number 1. At 20%. See if we can get clearance from tower. Alright, so we can stop any minute now. Okay, there we go. Okay. Let's turn on window heat to low, probes on. ATC, yes sir. Alright, gonna turn off APU. I don't think we'll be needing that for right now. This guy on. Yaw damper. 2, those are on. And flaps to 8 degrees.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
There we go. Performance page. Okay, and stop over here and trim 5.9. Your stabilizer trim set there, which is actually pretty crucial, especially on these rear-engined aircraft. Pretty freaking important. Alright, so looks like we're all set. And let's get out of here. I'm going to be honest, I think they could have really went without the thud. Like every time you taxi, you just hear that annoying thud, and I mean they don't all sound like that. Now, I mean it's almost to the point where you'd rather just not have that sound than have to deal with that every time. I don't know. I mean, that's more or less me just being petty, but I mean, I know Aerosoft is some of the things they do is just, you know, to enhance that level of immersion, but I mean, I could honestly go without people sneezing and farting and whatever else they're doing on the flight deck. I really could go without it, but I mean, I guess it, you know, like I said, I guess it helps the immersion. I don't know.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
600-mile trip in the CRJ. Holy cow. Like, what is that? I mean, is that like a broom, or, I mean, what are we doing? Bless you. I mean, what's the... I don't know. It's like the more I pay attention to them, it's like the more it's... Yeah. I don't know. Knowing views. I mean, which isn't a huge deal, but slide on the brakes there for a minute and get everything configured for takeoff. Let's see, yep, all that's set. Everything looks good up there. Dive down here, make sure your reversers are armed. Yeah, everything looks good. We'll set this for runway heading. There we go. After takeoff, we'll probably fly runway heading and then off to wherever. Are you on the runway? Almost. Almost. I forget we're a little heavy, so they're normally there's a slight delay from power application for that little bit of breakaway thrust to get her going. So we're 117 left there. Everything looks good, and let's get out of here. Takeoff power is set. Engine instruments within limits, and airspeed's alive. Got 80 knots right there. Rotate. Pause the rate of climb. Gear up. climb thrust going. And let's see, we'll set climb speed to 230. Normally it helps tremendously when you have someone else there to get everything set up for you, or assist in getting everything set up. Alright, get her flaps up. Let's see, and actually what we'll do, we'll go ahead and engage the autopilot and finish some last minute items here. Okay. Alrighty, and what we'll do now is go ahead and we'll do a direct to botch and execute, and we can at this point transition back into our FMS1 mode there, and she should line out direct to botch, and we'll just continue straight to our cruising altitude of flight level 310. Well, no, not 310, it's 360. Whoops. Coffee. Oh, man. Ugh. Normally I don't do them. Well, yeah, I do them this early sometimes, but normally I'll try to what is she doing? Okay. Oh, I got a little bit of weather. Going through a little bit of weather. 10,000 feet. No, you may not. Alright, so I guess the heck with maintaining 230, so we'll convert to, transition on over to a vertical speed mode and see if we can get her to line out there. Are we dirty at all? Flaps up, gears up. She was giving me no climb performance at all. Climb, nope. see if she'll give us 290. I mean, at this point, we'd try to pitch for 290 knots, or try to 290 and 280s, depending on how quick and how far you're trying to get up there. Well, how quick you're trying to get up there and how far you're trying to take to get up there. So we'll let her settle down a little bit, and see if she'll continue to give us some issues with the pitch control. But I mean, even in like real world scenarios, the autopilot is not, your autopilot system is just not, not trouble free by no stretch of imagination. I mean, so still have to monitor it, and still have to be ready to disengage that auto throttle or the autopilot itself and intervene when necessary. I see we're coming up on 280. Yeah, I don't know what must have been. Had to have been maybe wind shear or something like that. I don't know what that was earlier. I did hear on the Aerosoft forums, though, that perhaps at some point, they didn't really even say that they were working on it, but it was almost kind of that, it's on the table type deal, that they are looking at possibly doing a higher resolution virtual cockpit, which would be awesome. Since she is in dire need of one. Alright. So yeah, we're at 290 right there, about 2,300 foot per minute, and she looks to be lining out nicely. Of course, we'll continue to monitor it. Zoom out a little bit. And let's see, looks like we're like 588 miles, so right at an hour, some change, so about 10:30 Central. And we'll go ahead and set this up for 29902. What we got? That's gonna do both sides, I'm assuming. Oh, ice. I'm not even sure if the radar works on this thing or not. Map terrain. Yeah, I have no idea if the radar works or not. I think it does, I don't know. I don't know. Alrighty, coming out of 2004360. 578 nautical miles out, hour and 15 minutes to arrival. Alright, now it's our FMS1 mode selected with climb speed of 290 knots. Ground speeds hovering around 391. And seatbelt signs are on for good measure. One thing I will give Aerosoft, they did do a pretty good job in capturing the engine sounds. Of course, you know, as long as this thing is, you're not going to be just all the way audible from up front, but I know, I guess it could be one of those things where if you manipulate the settings enough, you can kind of get it a little closer maybe, but I mean, for the most part, they did a pretty good job. They just gotta, in my opinion, I mean, I could have totally went without the little ground effect sounds or whatnot, but I think they can be either turned down or turned off in the settings. You just gotta play with them. Out of curiosity, I'm just curious. Okay, so you have the cowl anti-ice for the engine. Wing should, okay, so it does change in the schematic. I'm assuming this is like your status page, of course, for your doors, environmental systems. So right now the cabin is climbing the cabin up to like 500 foot per minute. Right now it's at 4,700. Oops, there we go. Hydraulics and everything that is on that system, elevator. Okay. Awesome. 58 degrees Celsius. Fuel temp. That's pretty cool. And stat, I think it was there. Alrighty, so yeah, we still got a pretty good while to Durango. The approach, let's see, let's look and see here. You guys are probably going to lose audio, or are you? Can't tell. Yeah, you guys lost audio for a moment. Hold on 1 second here. I just gotta pull up the approach for this airport, which I know, with it being in Colorado, is going to be quite interesting. So it's no longer Rattlesnake. The initial approach fix. Okay, so yeah, it's no longer runway 4, it's 03. So I don't know if our nav data is going to reflect it or not, but I don't know. Alright, so looks like we got everything lined out here. I'm gonna go and grab another refill of coffee there, and I'll be back. Okay, back there to make it apparently. So, all right. Now, is she having problems? Okay, let's see here. It's almost as if she's trying to catch 360 and then not really, but maybe. I don't know. Or is this all she's gonna give me? Hey, what? Sometimes this works. We'll flicking into vertical speed mode. Alright, so alt cap. There we go. There we go. And hopefully she'll line out around 360. And being that we have no auto throttle on this airplane, requires a little manual intervention, but once you get a good N1 percentage, she'll normally hold that quite well. Just kind of depends. You know, sometimes it could be 84, 85%. You just kind of have to watch your trends. You'll notice you'll get a little bar on the tail end of this, kind of up or down, and at that point, just gauge your throttle inputs off of that until she steadies. So we'll do 81 and see what she does. Got some storms there. Excuse me. We'll go ahead and turn off the seatbelt sign for now. Yeah, I got some storms off for 10, 11 o'clock in this area. I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. And looks like she's falling off, speed's falling off just a little bit, so we'll try like 84, see what happens. Of course, I'm sure there's a chart somewhere based on your based on the temperatures and the wind conditions will give you like the exact input for your throttle. But I mean, like I said, you know, just kind of gotta fill her out a little bit and just take a little patience. Set your power and see what she does and the speed. Alrighty, let's see. There we go, back. I catch a phone call real quick. Now, looks like we're she's selling out around like 0.75, which I'm totally fine with that. With 0.74 as a planned cruise speed, yeah, 0.75 is works out nicely. I'd rather not be on this trip all day. Let's see here. So still what, 54 minutes? 54 minutes out. Fighting a decent 26 knot headwind. Been kind of nice if I was a tailwind, but you know, whatever. Excuse me. I mean, I guess it's kind of expected this time of year, but it makes those RJ flights no fun. No fun at all. Which I guess, I don't know, in hindsight, I mean, the 900 isn't a bad aircraft to ride on, I mean, from a passenger standpoint, but I guess at the end of the day, it's a regional jet, and me personally, I don't know, anything much past like 500-600 miles starts to become kind of uncomfortable in RJ. I don't know, that's just me. I mean, which I think that's kind of where aircraft like the MD-80 and the 717 kind of come in, where you know you have that mainline feel, that room, but at the same time, you know, as far as the mission profile, it still kind of fits within that mission profile. I mean, I don't know. I've never been to Durango, Colorado, but it would almost, my opinion, it would kind of seem more of an airport fit for maybe like A319 or something like that, or heck, even the 175, Embraer 175, or 170. I think you can get 90 on this thing. I think well, yes, no, I don't know. I guess places like Durango, like 90 is kind of like the sweet spot. I don't quite know the passenger capacity for an A319, but I'm pretty sure it's more than 90. Pretty sure, at least, I think. I don't know. Let's see. Airbus. A319. So, looking here. Capacity 124. So you're looking at 124 souls on board versus 90. So I guess places like Durango really call for, you know, something on the smaller end. Let's see, so you look down here, see you kind of bled off there to, which, I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, you're going to get changes in the atmosphere, things like that, and that's going to affect your speed as well, right? So little small adjustments here and there. I mean, normally work just fine. Because if if you're in that Airbus or whatever you're in, just kind of take the time and during cruise when everything is like nice and level, take a look and see what the auto throttle is doing. You really don't notice big changes, right? Just normally kind of subtle, percent here, percent there, every now and then if if you encountering some wind shear or something like that, or some turbulence, you'll get some fluctuations. But for the most part, your power changes are minute. So yeah, just kind of pay attention next time you're at cruise and watch your auto throttle. Try 86 and see what happens there. I could have swore that thing said like 45 minutes, like what, like 10 minutes ago, 10-15 minutes ago. Maybe I'm seeing things. Excuse me. Six. Alright, let's reduce it a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, you really don't have to watch this thing like a hawk, but especially if you're trying to, do a quick flight or something like that, and you're kind of in and out. Kids are bugging in, you're in and out of the office or whatnot. You don't have to really watch this thing like a hawk, but definitely about every 10 minutes or so you probably want to come in and check, because sometimes your airspeed may creep a little bit in one way or the other, and like right now we're kind of like 0.76, which isn't horrible, but we'll reduce the throttle to 81. Let's see what happens there. Getting pretty close to our, I say pretty close, but I'll pull this guy up and see. So yeah, looking at our headwind component, it's like a straight 20-something knot headwind. That's awesome. I guess, I don't know, I guess it's not too bad on the 900 for like a 600-mile jaunt. I mean, most of them you'll see on like AirNav. I know flying out of like Dallas, like you'll get them going to like Huntsville, Huntsville, Birmingham, Pensacola, Florida, places in that area. Like I know out of Dallas at least, which comes out to be about like which comes out to be like 500 or 600 miles. Sorry about that. So heck, I've even seen what, like some 700s, I think. That was they'll run, let's see, where was it? Oh, awesome. So Dallas Fort Worth is currently experiencing delays, departure delays, 16 to 30 minutes, and increasing due to weather. Cincinnati. See if I can find anything else. Grand Junction, El Paso, that's about 400 miles. So, yeah, like I said, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of expected. Your speed fell off like quite a bit. Quite a bit. Yeah, probably should have hit up the southeast on this one, but eh. I was kind of wondering, I was like, oh man, it's Durango, Colorado, it's different. Let's go there. Yeah, 0.68, slowly coming up. Slowly. My goodness. So, well, that 27 knot headwind, I mean, that's, doesn't seem like a lot, but I mean, if you kind of think about it, I mean, what, we're at 373 right now. And right now, if had we had that 27 knot tailwind, we'd be looking at about 400 knots. I guess it could be like a 100 knot headwind, but she's getting there, slowly but surely. She's getting there. Got plenty of fuel. Not too terribly worried about our fuel consumption. Well, we're at 1,700 pounds per hour. So we got plenty, like 1,700. So we'll probably come in maybe around 45, somewhere around there in the tanks, give or take. Actually, I'd be curious now. Let's see. Well, what do we have in there? We got 84, what, 8480? Well, 8475 now. And then there's like 54. They're on 5,000 left, so they're plenty. Getting back up to like 0.73. .74. Yeah, let's kind of check and see what our cabin's looking like. So right now our cabin altitude is 6,470 feet, which is of course below 10,000, so they're nice and happy back there. Cabin's about 23 degrees Celsius, so that's cool. Flight deck's a little chilly, 21 degrees Celsius, but you guys are sitting fairly close, so keep each other warm. And status page there. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, and I see where FlyJSim has released an update to their 727. Those of you who have the X-Plane as well, 727 Professional version 3. I'm kind of curious if they include the Super 27 or the one with the 727 with the winglets added on there. I think Amerijet ran them or something like that back in the day. But that was probably my favorite. I think you're pretty satisfied with the CRJ now. Yeah, I mean, overall I'm pretty satisfied. I mean, you know, hopefully at some point they'll give us a little higher resolution on the textures there, but I mean, as far as flying wise, I'm comfortable with making a 628 nautical mile trip in it, so I'd say that's fairly confident at this point. I mean, I think you could actually run a successful flight on this. Now, would I trust it with like VATSIM or Pilot Edge or something like that, where you'll get yelled at by somebody if you don't do exactly what they want you to do? Then I'm not sure. But you know, as far as basic navigating, you know, she seems to be fairly decent in that aspect. I mean, like earlier we had a slight problem with capturing altitude, but I mean, heck, I've had that in actual aircraft. I mean, sometimes they'll be a little off or whatever, but you know, just kind of work with what you got and make some changes there. And I mean, right now we're at 360, is kind of doing our thing. But I mean, like I said, it's, as far as regional wise, it's the best we're going to get for quite some time. So I mean, in that aspect, it beats the heck out of default, so I'm happy with it. Now, if we somehow or some way somebody decided to do an Embraer 145 or 135, then, you know, I hate to say it, I'll just kind of have to be on that bandwagon. which I'm really surprised why no one has taken on the Embraer series in like quite some time. I remember years ago, there was it Payware? There was an Embraer 145 panel, I think, that everyone had. I think Paul Golding did it or something like that. And then Phil there did their Embraer 135 and 145 series, which why they just decided to kind of go off and do their own thing, I have no idea. I mean, you have an aircraft that everyone sees, everyone's familiar with, everyone wants, and I mean, it was just like they stopped development. I mean, they're still selling it, of course, but like, I mean, I think it's like 8-9 years old now. So it's like, at that point, I pretty much kind of lost all hope for that development house, which I'm sure everyone knows who I'm talking about. By God, VATSIM, so this would definitely qualify for VATSIM. Oh, awesome. Yeah, so quality wings, wow. So yeah, I mean, heck, if you can roll with quality wings and VATSIM, then yeah, this thing's a shoe-in. But I mean, even comparing, you know, as far as from a system standpoint, even if you want to compare that to the CRJ, I think the CRJ has an edge on the 757 all day long, which I mean, that's, you know, what quality wings kind of intended it, you know, to be. So I mean, I'm not mad at them for that, but you know, like I said, if you can run that on VATSIM, yeah, you wouldn't have any issues with this at all. Like I said, they have made some improvements. Like from that last service pack, there've definitely been some improvements to, I mean, how this thing tracks the flight plan. I think that's me there. Okay. You even got the little snowflake now that comes up when you shoot our nav approaches. I don't know if any of you may have noticed that or not, but a little bit of vertical guidance there in the corner. But yeah, so yeah, for the most part, I'm satisfied. I think the only thing that could be better at this point is if somebody decided to do like the Embraer, you know, 135, 145, which is the aircraft that actually replaced the turboprops, so the SOPs and all that. A lot of those airports are seeing like an Embraer 145, like those airports see that now, and then they'll see like maybe like a CRJ 200, but the majority of like the flights that I've seen, especially coming out of Dallas, has been like 135 going into like Tyler, Texas, and that little small fun airports like that. Which, I mean, that would be just like the bee's knees. I mean, I've even entertained the idea of trying to see if I can make Phil Thayer's, whoops, did I say that? No. Phil Thayer's Embraer 135 work in P3D version 4, but I think they pushed an update or something, but it was, from what people have been saying, it's garbage, it's trash, so I'm not even gonna bother messing with it. I'm just gonna continue. I mean, heck, you don't even have one on X-Plane. Like, no one's done one. Like, they'll do like the Eclipse 550. Like, I think I've seen one Eclipse 550 in like 6 years. No, yeah, about 6 years. One. The Epic and all these, like, you know, the Embraer Bondurante, which is amazing on X-Plane, by the way. We're talking about X-Plane right now. It's totally amazing. Like the Bondurante, if I'm even pronouncing, I don't know. The Embraer Bondurante 110. My goodness, I butchered that. But you guys, you know what I'm saying. Bondurante, or you gotta roll your tongue or something. I don't know. But like, I mean, it's an amazing piece of work. Like an amazing piece of work. But it's just been nice if they would have kind of jumped models just a little bit, maybe what, 2 generations up, and hit even like the 135, and like we'd be in business. We'd totally be in business right now. Because I don't even think there's a U.S. registered EMB 110 anywhere that I know of. I think I saw like one. I was curious. I'm like, I've never seen these, like, ever. And I started looking, and it's such a weird, like, apparently it's like the step below an EMB 120, which I'm sure most of you guys remember the 120. It's like a step below that. So, and that was, the 120 was fairly basic, so you can only imagine what this guy is. And it reminds me of a school, like the seating is like straight, like they pull the seats out of a school bus. Like, that's where they pull the seats from, it seems like. But this, I think, was it Dreamfoil who did it? Dreamfoil or something like that. But they've captured it, like, I mean, they did an amazing job in cap. Like, it literally looks like something out of a school bus. But, bless you. See, that guy gets me. Oh, man, that gets me Aerosoft. But, I mean, like I said, they did a really good job with it. But just like, I mean, they'll take on that, but no one wants to take on a 135 or 145. No one. I mean, even a 120. I mean, it would have been kind of nice to see an Embraer, a well-done Embraer 120, but no one wants to take it on. 170, 175. I mean, there's a couple, but I mean, we're talking like what, study level, right? We're looking for something study level, so. I mean, there are 2. I mean, there's a couple that's out there that I hear are pretty good, but I mean, as far as like a study level simulation, I don't think we have. We definitely don't have it in P3D, which is, it's a little depressing because, I mean, back then, now we're talking like what, 10 years ago, I mean, there was like ahead of their time. And I mean, even like the FADEC, their FADEC simulation is, I mean, it's still up there now to this day, but they just, you know, let's just continue to resell it, even though it's compatible with nothing now. Let's just continue to resell it. And I don't know. I mean, like I said, they've pushed a patch in recently that is supposed to, I believe, is supposed to provide compatibility for P3D version 4, but I mean, it's the same model. Virtual cockpit's the same. Nothing's been done to that, and I personally haven't had the opportunity of trying it, but everyone I've talked to that said that filled theirs and Embraers, I mean, it's just trash right now. So, I mean, we have yet to have a viable Embraer simulation. So, on a lighter note, I mean, like I said, this thing's definitely flyable, and thanks to Mr. Woods, has been verified that it probably will be able to hold its own in VATSIM very well. So, that's good. Yeah, I honestly don't think it'll have a problem at all. Alright, so we're at 0.73. Let's bump them up a little bit, not much. And we're what, 26? What? So we're 221 miles out. Awesome. Oh yeah, so this is going to be interesting. Descent to, I think that was Rattlesnake, which is also the initial approach fix for Durango, Colorado. And that's at 10,000 feet. So we'll be coming from, I guess, you know, if you're going to look at it, AGL, like 26,000 feet instead of 36,000, which is what we'll be coming out of if we're kind of closer to sea level. But I don't think anything in Colorado is like close to sea level. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm sure there's like a hole or something somewhere. But that being said, we're going to be kind of on our toes as far as our descent planning and all that fun stuff. So I think there's a flight from Aspen, but I didn't even want to. It was too early to even try to tackle that. I'll be for another day. .74. That's not bad. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the systems. Maybe that's why no one wants to work on an Embraer. Yeah, if it was on the X-Plane and it was a turboprop, 9 times out of 10, it was probably the Bondurante. The Bondurante. Oh my gosh, like you guys could totally pick out this. Bond, like I'm not even gonna butcher. We're just gonna call it the EMB 110, which that's the model name. So EMB 110. All right, so. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, it was probably the MB 110. But I mean, like I said, it's well done, and you'll I've noticed that about X-Plane, like you'll have a lot of well done odd aircraft, like odd. I mean, it's cool. Like what I think they've done, Burt Rutan's Long Easy that he did like forever ago. Like I was like, well, I'm 32 now, and I was like 10 or 11 when I was watching it on Discovery Wings. Throwback to Discovery Wings, but I was watching Discovery Wings, and he was talking about his Long Easy, and someone has even done that. So. I mean, people are doing, you know, those type of aircraft. Which I mean, you know, you're the developer. You can do where if you want to do a freaking banana, you can do a banana, stick an engine on it, and call. I mean, that's your prerogative. But you know, in my opinion, if you're looking for something that would sell, like I'm trying to move volume, I would be looking at developing an aircraft that, you know, people see. You guys have heard me talk about it time and time again. I would try to do aircraft that people see every day. Something that people can resonate with, something that people can relate to. Those will be the aircraft that I would develop. And I mean, unless you're an aviation nerd, like, you know, the majority of us are, you know, yeah, we're going to recognize a Long Easy. But most people, you know, if I just went out here and bought me a copy of P3D version 4, and I'm looking for, you know, I'm looking for an aircraft. I'm gonna, you know, I'm like, oh man, I flew that to Lawton, Oklahoma the other day, or you know, things like that. I mean, no one's gonna know what the heck a long easy is. Or I mean, I'm just picking along. I mean, it's like I said, it's extremely well done. I've been thinking about picking it up myself, but you know, I'm just picking on it. But you know, are like there's a couple others. It doesn't even just like. I mean, they're beautiful. I mean, they're beautiful, but you know, I'm hoping, and I'm sure that's the case. I'm sure they're just doing it out of passion for that particular type of aircraft. They wanted a rendition of it, and you know, they decided to take on the challenge, and I applaud them for it. That's awesome. But I hope that they're not developing these aircraft to, you know, to make a profit. Because if not, I mean, I don't know who their strategist was or who told them, but like, you know, I mean, no one knows what, you know, what the heck a long easy is unless you've been in aviation for quite some time. I mean, even PMDG, they've said it, you know, they've said it themselves, even though they kind of completely contradicted their statement, in my opinion. But yes, that's another story. I mean, you're going to axe the MD-11 and say basically that aircraft, you know, they might as well just say that they've never even made that aircraft. They're like, we have no recollection of ever developing MD-11, yeah, whatever. But, you know, you know, like, they've said it themselves, like, you know, we're looking to develop aircraft that people see every day. So, you know, but like I said, you know, then they do that, then they, you know, completely just whatever with the MD-11, you know, even though you got herds of them flying out of, you know, Memphis per hour. Hey, bud, what's going on, man? But yeah, you got freaking herds of the thing, you know, herds of those things flying out per hour, but yet, you know, you're gonna say that that's not a common aircraft, and you know, we don't feel whatever, just whatever. You know, just go ahead and just be transparent and tell us the real reason why, you know, we kind of decided not to, you know, further development on the MD-11. Like I said, I'm not a developer, so I'm not gonna, you know, I'm gonna jump off my soapbox for a moment with the MD-11, even though like I said, it kind of hurt me as well. But you know, if you're really looking for an MD-11, I think Rotate's working on the MD-11 for X-Plane 11, which should be pretty nice, and hopefully by the time that comes out, Active Sky also comes out for X-Plane 11, and we could probably give P3D version 4 a break for a while once that drops, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be amazing when we actually get a viable weather engine for X-Plane. It's going to be pretty freaking nice, not going to lie. Yeah, it's going to be nice. I mean, X-Plane's a beautiful sim. I mean, it did an amazing job with it. It's just the freaking weather engine's trash. I mean, it's going to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. I mean, the weather engine's trash. You know, you got a couple of development houses out there who try to, you know, bring everything together, I guess, you know, try to improve on it, but it's just, I have one of them, and it's just trying to get the settings just right, and then everything looks like garbage, and it's just like you might as well not even try. Then there's another one from what I've been reading. I mean, they want like $80 for the thing, but it, you know, people are saying like the support's trash, so it's like, you know what? Cut your losses. Don't buy anything else until Hi-Fi Sim pushes out their engine for X-Plane 11, and we'll just all call it a day. So, but yeah, there is an MD-11 coming out by Rotate. The same guys who did, I think they did the MD-88 or MD-83 for X-Plane 11, which that one was nice. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty nice. from what all the reviews I've looked at, you know, people have had nothing but good things to say about it. So, should be pretty good. I think they've even released like some screenshots somewhere. I think it was on FS Elite or something. They released some screenshots and all that awesomeness. So, I think I might even pick that one up myself. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. We're about 149 miles out. And we'll probably start descent around 130, 135. Actually, may not even be. They're only dropping 26,000, so like what, 24,000? Yeah, so we might not even start descent that early. We might wait a little bit, and we might do it like 110, 120, kind of go from there. See what the conditions present us. I don't have weather for Durango just yet. Let's see if we can snag it here real quick. Let's see. Meteor, Kilo, Delta, Romeo, Oscar. Durango, Colorado. I bet you it's gorgeous there. I'm sure it's not 5,000 degrees like it is here. Okay, so altimeter 3038. Temperature 18, dew point 5, winds calm, ceiling 12,000. Okay, it's not bad. Not bad. But yeah, I mean, solid release. Kudos to Aerosoft for not giving up on it. It was. We're just so hungry for a regional jet. I mean, this thing was just like hot garbage when we released it. I'm just gonna be honest. But I mean, we were just so, because I look at my old streams, I was so optimistic. Like, you know, well, you know, you can't really fly a flight plan, but at least stay in heading mode, or you know, just. Man, I'm so glad they got them lined out. Because, you know, I mean, we've all seen them, you know, some of them, it'll look all awesome when when they first drop it, and then, you know, we fly it, and it's hot garbage, and, you know, we're all kind of like, well, you know, at least it looks like it, maybe, you know. So, yeah, hats off to, Aerosoft for that. And like I said, once they get the so my only grab, like if they can get the VC lined out, get us a bit higher of a resolution on the textures there, and I think we'll be rocking and rolling as we're doing Mach 0.82. That's awesome. Every time I go on my rants, I stop aviating. But we're about to bleed off some airspeed here anyway. And get ready for our descent into Durango. Hopefully we don't hit anything of the mountainous variety. I think there's like a radar and terrain button here somewhere. I don't even know if that works though. Alright, so she's falling off right there. And we'll go ahead and start that set. So I can get my mouse to cooperate. Alright, so now we'll dump her in vertical speed mode, and we'll start walking her down. But yeah, like I said, I mean, if you're gonna, you know, if you want to be like the next PMDG or the next, you know, some of these other guys out here, I mean, you gotta, you know, and gotta kind of, you know, follow the market and seeing what the crowd wants. And I mean, you know, most of us have dealt with, you know, regionals, right? So we've seen the CRJs. I mean, I think, in fact, I think when this guy released, like, they freaking almost shut the servers down. Like, it was that big of a release because everyone wanted the CRJ. Like, even, like, I remember even when Jay Roland's CRJ released years ago. I mean, there were people buying X-Plane just to have the opportunity to fly their fly 200, and then they turned around. What was like 5-6 years later? They turned around and I think BBS dropped a sound. I'm not even. It's like not even like a sound pack, but it's like a. I guess it's like a plug-in as well that just completely changed the game as far as sounds and X-Plane, like with the 200. I mean, it sounds like amazing. Like tit for tat, it sounds amazing. Excuse me. So I mean, like, you know, when you look at releases like that, like, you know, every release, you know, has been like a huge deal, and you know, we don't have a 135 or 145. Why? You know, I mean, you think those, you know, those aircraft you would think would probably be one of the most overly done, you know, the most overly done, you know, aircraft, but they're not. You know, I think there's like a 140 floating around on the X-Plane store, and of course, you know, there's 135. I mean, they did them all. I mean, it was like they did the 135, the 145 LR, the 145 XR. Did they do the 170? I know they did the 175, and then they did like the 195 or something like that. I mean, so they did them all. They just did them like 8 years ago, and they're just like, meh, you know, we're just whatever. We'll just keep selling that, you know. Yeah. So, so I mean, I don't know. Then I don't know. I think it was Wilco, and then they what was Wilco doing that just that probably is the reason why not many aircraft manufacturers want to even bother with a rendition of their aircraft on flight sim. I think it was the Falcon. I think they tried to do. I think it was like supported by Dassault and all of this, and I think it was like endorsed by them or something like that. But was it? I think it was. But just a huge deal. I mean, it was in development for quite some time, and you know, I mean, like a long-range business jet. I mean, that's freaking news. So, I mean, of course, everybody knows there were some day one buyers, and just, you know, even prior to then, Wilco kind of had at this point developed a reputation, you know, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with at this point. But, you know, all the day one buyer just like, oh my gosh, this thing's terrible. Like it was just like you might as well just like download a virus on your computer or something. I don't know. Like they were just saying it was complete garbage and slandered the heck out of it. And even looking at it, like, you know, like they have this thing about making the Tiner. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm still on cup number 1. They still have this thing about making the tires like overly shiny, like they just dipped them in a vat of Armor All, and like that's what you have. Like they're just ridiculously shiny. Like you can't really pay attention to the aircraft because you're just looking at, oh my gosh, why are the tires so shiny? And it was just a disaster, you know. And you know, I think I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I would love to be a fly on the wall when the manufacturer downloaded this aircraft and realized that it functioned nothing like the real world counterpart. Nothing. So, but I mean, like I said, you know, I think what really kind of put them on the map was their Embraer series, and they just dumped it. They're working on, oh, excuse me, some tower, something, I don't know, something crazy. But you know, I mean, if they would just, you know, just kind of get back to the basics, focus on, you know, revitalizing that, you know, Embraer lineup. They're pretty much basic models. Yeah, like the 130, 135, 145, 170, like all those, I mean, back in the day were ahead of their time. Like, I mean, that was it. I mean, I've had to have put thousands of hours on the Embraers, like, you know, 130, because like you have like hundreds of routes you can choose from. You know, so like, let's say we download a 757 today, and you know, most of us, you know, we tend to like to run routes that we see and hear of every day. And so, you know, I think there's like, let me jump over here to, I don't really use FlightAware, but I'm looking out of Dallas right now. Got transition altitude there, and it's not, let's see, let me get this real quick. I guess we aren't at 29er. You know, because we're on below 18,000 yet. I think that's why. I guess maybe we are at 29. I don't know. Hold on here. Let me get this thing lined out. I got about 1,900 foot. It should. And I also use this little rough. It's like more or less like a rough reference here. And then you also have the little snowflake there to give you like a rough visualization of your vertical guidance. But I mean, just glancing here on my other screen, and like I see one 757 flight going to Philadelphia, and pretty much everything else is the Embraer 135 to Shepherd Air Force Base. You got to 170 going to Grand Junction, 145 going to Level Field, 135 going to Alexandria, 145 going to Abilene. I mean, you have, you know, so you can kind of see there, like, I'll be honest, like, if I had an artistic bone in me, I'd be all over the Embraer right now. All over it. And I mean, to be honest with you, it really didn't even have to be, you know, it really didn't even have to be like just study level. It just has to like look like the thing. You know, I mean, shoot, I mean, Coronado survived for years doing that. I mean, it might, you know, it might behave like hot garbage, but I mean, this thing looks, you know, a lot of times, you know, some of the screenshots you can't tell if they're freaking, you know, real or fake. You know, so. And I guess we can go against those wishes, but could you imagine Coronado doing like a regional jet series, like with the CRJ and the Embraer, but like just keep them out of the avionics, you know, just have somebody else do the avionics. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some way to like merge feel there's avionics into Coronado's modeling. Oh my gosh. Instead of just sticking the GTN 750 in it. Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. But kudos to Mr. Burke for doing that, because I mean, there have been, had it not been for that GTN 750 fix that he implemented in quite a few different airplanes, I mean, half of them we wouldn't even be able to fly, because the avionics are just that terrible. I mean, they're just that terrible. And then you shoot him a message or something. Hey, you know, we're having problems with this. Isn't working, and you know, things not even holding. You know, altitude to save its life. And they're like, oh well, you know, we've done our own testing and it works just fine. Well, I mean, what do you? I mean, you know, really? You know, so they'll there's a few guys on the forums. They'll jump in and they'll. You know, they'll hack at it, you know, hack at what they can, and you know, release some fixes there that turn out to be a huge help. And I think I remember their Hawker, their Hawker was kind of like that. I think it was like the Hawker 750 or something like that they released, and I mean, it looked great. I mean, it just didn't function at all as if like it was supposed to. And they went in there, a few of the guys went in there and saved the day, and now it's a flyable model, just as long as you download it and then download the mod pack for it, and you know, it runs like a champ. I mean, of course they stuck a 750 in it because the avionics didn't work, but you know, maybe if like, you know, they did some sort of collaboration with another, you know, development studio that specialized in like avionics or something like that. I don't know, but like I said, it'd just be kind of nice to get a full RJ lineup. Because shoot, it wasn't up until what, a few years, what, 2-3 years ago, that we got a Saab for any flight sim, and I think Leading Edge Simulations did the A model. And but of course, I mean, by this point, there's like, I don't think there's any Saabs flying for a regional airline anymore in the U.S. that I know of. So, unless it's like charter or something like that. I see a few charter outfits still running them, but for the most part, I mean, there's like nobody doing them. Alright, let's see, let's reduce our range here, and so should be hitting Rattlesnake here, about 14 miles. Now, like I said, there should be some sort of terrain function. What is it? I saw it here somewhere. Terrain, yeah, so I guess apparently it didn't work, I don't know. But what we can do, we can go ahead and set our landing speeds there. So, which is actually kind of fast, 143. That's getting it. Where is it? 143. I guess that's at full flaps, I'm assuming. Well, we'll fly them and see what, we'll fly those speeds and see what happens. And we'll go ahead and hit those fast seatbelt signs there. Excuse me. All this rain's been having stirred up all kinds of pollen. Let's go ahead and bleed off some of that airspeed. Bleed off some airspeed and see where we are at. And I bet you, let's see, can we do can we get a direct 2? Can I get a direct 2? What was that? 10 something? Hindi? See if it gives me a direct 2. We're turning somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, I'll go ahead and hit our landing lights here. Even though we're at 12,000 feet, I mean, we're actually what, 10,000? Yeah, so we're like not far at all as far as AGL is concerned. Let's see what we're 15 miles from Hindi, 21 miles from, okay. According to the plate, our initial approach fix was rattlesnake, so let's start walking it down here. I think what, 6,000 or something like that. I believe that's what it was. Let's go ahead and start walking her down, and so you got the little snowflake there. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. Just kind of following that, watching your airspeed all the same. Just gonna keep a little power in there. I think, yeah, 10,000, so 6 miles out. And a lot of times, even if you're at a major airport and it's like a high traffic situation in the course of your regional jet, you're going to be the smaller of the bunch, and you want to try to avoid wake turbulence. A lot of times you can fly the ILS approach but stay like a dot or two above the glide slope, and a lot of times they'll help keep you out of the turbulence a little bit. Alright, so we're at 11,000. There's the glide slope. And localizer 1. It's just awesome. You look out there and you're looking for the airport, you see nothing but mountains. Alrighty, here. Let's see here. Probably, yeah, it's probably gonna get a little bumpy. Actually, I think what we're gonna do here, we're gonna bump our vertical speed up to about 400 foot per minute, and then we'll go ahead and catch that glide slope. And we'll ride that glide slope down a little bit. Alright, got the airport in sight there. And start walking the speed down a little bit. And adjust that vertical speed. And yeah, it's probably going to get a little bumpy. Alright, so go ahead and extend the slats. Let's see if we can catch that glide slope. A little power. Which, I mean, we're kind of following it, right? So, because normally it was like 400 or 500 feet per minute, so. Alright, looks like we caught it right there. I'm going to go ahead and extend those gear, and now we'll go ahead and give her flaps. Flaps 8. And layer a line out there, and then we'll go ahead and extend the rest of the way. Add a little power. And we'll go ahead and give her some more flaps. Got a radar altimeter right there. It's probably going to fluctuate a little bit. Yep, she wants to nose over. Fat, does this thing work? Yeah, it works, does it? I don't like that. Sure, flight level. Right now, we're at flight level like 080. We're actually on final approach right now. Should be landing here shortly. Alright, so just gotta double check, make sure our thrust reversers are armed. And landing lights on, that looks good. Okay, yep, everything looks good there. And just gotta stay in it there. But off quite a bit of speed. And you also have to keep in mind that you know, you are operating at let's see here. Let's go ahead. Alright, you know what? We'll go ahead and disengage the autopilot. You are operating at somewhat of a higher elevation, so your engines won't perform as efficiently as what you're probably normally used to, like if you operate mostly like in the southeast and in the lower elevations there. Man, this trim is touchy.
500. Light slow. Light slow. 400. Light slow. 300.
Yeah, we're not going to fly the glass slope at this point.
Light slow. 100. Light slow. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And reverse there on the brakes. 60 knots, reverse lights out. And we'll just stay in it, stay in the brakes there a little longer. Yeah, I think the 9.0, I think it's the latest one. I think I have the Etzcraft 175, I believe, but it's definitely not study level. Definitely not study level. Alright, so where the heck is the terminal? A decent sized airport. And this scenery here, this is actually the default, I say default, but the Orbix, I guess the little free airport pack or whatever they release every so often. Okay, turn that off there. Let's see if I can do this and I cannot go off the taxiway at the same time. Why they didn't give us a wing view, I have no idea. I'm assuming this is the gate. Like I said, that's, yeah. We're just going to go out on a limb and assume this is a gate. No smaller airports, you know, you got air stairs, so it's not like you're really looking for a per se gate. You know, normally they'll have their own little designated spot. I know. Yep, we'll find us one of these little spots here and we'll get her parked and shut her down. Yeah, we'll do this one. So we'll kind of widen out our turn there since we're like, I think our tail is still on the runway. This thing's so long. Alright. Let's see, so we're definitely going to need a push out of here. Let's see here. Alright there. Alright, and we'll go ahead and set this this up here. Shut that guy off there. And this guy off here. Turn off our pumps there. Leave that on. This off. Leave that on. That's good. Seatbelt signs off. And we'll jump over here to our handy dandy notebook and open that guy, that guy, that guy, and stairs will be up and deplane. And yeah, beacon's off already. Yeah. And yeah, we want to burn up our heating elements, so we'll turn that off as well. Got the random guy just walking there, so no big deal. Surely he's not a security risk. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it. Fairly decent flight actually. I mean, it was a little longer than what I anticipated, but I mean, it was a nice little flight in the 900. So, yep, I hear you, man. I got to jump off here too, take care of some stuff, guys. It's been great. Please like and or subscribe if you so desire. Other than that, either way, you guys have an awesome Friday, and we'll see you soon.